Hello, welcome back. How you are doing today? As you all are joining, give me a hey, give me a hi, let me know where you all are joining from. I am Latrice Huff, career and leadership coach to ambitious women of color, and it's my mission and my movement to put more women of color in leadership roles so we can have the flexibility and freedom that we deserve. Yes, okay. Y'all, we've been going live every week for a while now. Last week we had a little bit of technical difficulties on Wednesday, and then on Monday I was traveling. I took my own advice. I had to take a little bit of time off. I think I shared with you all that my daughter was having surgery, so I had to take a little bit of time off, but I am back, excited to be here. You all have been so amazing, so loyal, coming with questions, with comments, giving me support, allowing me to serve and support you. And I just want to say thank you. I appreciate it. This has been highly anticipated. Y'all, I had to narrow it down to just 5 tips, but then I have like some bonus ones. I'm going to try to make this quick, but this is a hot topic right now, which is top job search tips for women of color in 2025. I recently had a conversation with a hiring manager who is actively hiring, and she just hired someone else. And she told me a couple of things that she's seeing. I had another conversation with some of my clients who are going through the hiring process, and then really started to look at what I'm seeing. So I have 5. We may have 6. Let's see how much time we have to get through this. If we need a part 2, we may have a part 2. As I share these tips, if you have any comments, any questions that come up, please put them in the comments. If you know someone who is actively job searching or who is, I would say, who is not feeling stable or comfortable in their job, tag them, share this out. Let's get this information to as many people as possible because times are a changing, you guys. Times are a changing. That's the tips and techniques and strategies that worked in 2022 are not necessarily working now. Your thought process needs to be different. Your strategy needs to be different. How you show up, how you prepare needs to be different right now in the 2025 job market. Okay. So let's go in with that. I also want to say this. If you're someone and you're like, my job is stable right now, I'm going to pray for you that that is true. And I would still recommend that you watch this information. And I'm going to say, I recommend everyone right now. I would just be cleaning up. It's midway through the year. I'd be clearing up my resume. I'd be just cleaning it up, cleaning up my LinkedIn. Let that be my first little bonus tip. Start right now, half the year, do some summer cleaning. Forget spring cleaning. Start cleaning up your resume. I've had people come to me and they're like, I haven't updated my resume in 15, 20 years. Maybe they worked for a government, maybe they worked for the same company, maybe they always got like promoted or referred. I understand that. And now is still the time to start updating. Whether you're looking for a job or not, first little bonus tip, start cleaning up your resume in your LinkedIn because it's no way you're going to remember everything that you've done. Like when you're actively looking for a job, it's hard to remember everything that you've done. Start doing it now. Bonus tip. All right, we're going to get right into it. I am so excited. If you are like, Latrice, I'm loving these lives. I want to make sure you get notified. Be sure to follow me. Hit that follow button on LinkedIn and YouTube, and then hit that notification bell twice. You have to hit it twice for it to like send you a little alert when I go live, okay? All right, we going to hop into this. And I'm going to say some things, hurt some feelings. The first thing, the job process right now in 2025, the job search process and the job hiring process is taking much, much longer than it did. Even in 2025, even in 2024, I have to say, people were like, oh, 2024 was hard. I was like, I didn't really see too much in my clients. I was like, yeah, challenging, but let's just keep going. 2025 it has been shaking people because things have been going on that's a little unpredictable. We've had stable industries get shaken up. And now you have way more people in the job market, right? So companies are being a little more hesitant because they don't know what's going to happen. So be prepared for a much longer process, even in the hiring process. I had a client just get called for an interview in June, and she applied for the role in February. In February. Okay. So be mindful that things are happening. And I will say it's gonna be, I'm getting a little hit of my tips, but she followed up. We're gonna talk about following up too. So just know if you haven't heard anything, it doesn't mean you're not qualified. It could mean that position's put on pause or hold. It could mean that they're not there, maybe it's available but they're not actively hiring for it right now. It could mean they're overwhelmed with applications. It could mean they're just being much more careful on their end. On their end. That was one of the things in talking to this hiring manager and preparing for this live today. One of the things she said was like her time is valuable, and they want to be much more strategic and timely, because if they're scared, if they get the wrong person in there, that it's going to be much harder to get them out, and it's going to make their lives like heck, their work lives like a living heck. Okay, y'all know what I'm saying. So just be prepared. If you're prepared, it won't be a shock to be like, okay, the job search process may take a little longer. The hiring process, I could be a great candidate. I'm showing up well. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, and it still may take longer than 30 days. Even when they say it, like I've had some people that say, Latrice, they told me they were going to make a decision last week. It's 3 weeks. That was 3 weeks ago, right? Like they said, like, oh, we'll get back to you in a week, and it's 3 weeks later, and they haven't gotten back to you. Just know I'm seeing a lot more of that. And in talking on the back end, they're just being much more careful before they take clients to the next level, before they hire. And in saying that, with this longer hiring process, what I'm also seeing is many more interviews. Like before, it could be you interview with the recruiter, you go to the hiring manager, maybe it's one more, but you're hired. Now I'm seeing people get 4, 5, even 6 rounds of interviews with the same company. All right. So let me know if you all have experienced this, if you've seen someone who has gone through this. So just know, and I'm sharing this tip because I want you to be prepared. I want you to, as and I know it can be challenging, but as you're applying, even if you get a follow-up notice saying like, hey, when are the dates you're available? You send them the dates, you don't hear anything. Don't go to, it's never going to happen to me. For me, go to like, okay, Latrice said things could take a little longer than usual. I'm going to follow up, make sure I give them my information. All right. My second tip, follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. You have to follow up. This following up is no longer an option. Following up used to be something we did in the 90s. Now you have to follow up now in 2025. And I'm saying this because hiring managers are busy. Companies forget things. Um, HR forgets. People are busy. They're overwhelmed. I don't know if you all saw that. Recently they said we had like that one of the highest unemployment um, months, like requests in like I don't know in over a year, right? So just know that it's more people out there. It's more people applying for jobs. Companies are going through more resumes. You need to follow up. And this is a good thing because this is something you can control, especially if you've had an interview already. Follow up. If you haven't had an interview, you can follow up too, but especially if you've had an interview with them, follow up. If you haven't had an interview, follow up. It could be as simple as reaching out to the hiring manager or to the recruiter and just saying and letting them know that you have applied and you appreciate, you research the company, you see how great it is, and you would love to work with them. Letting them know like a couple of 3 things about you and um like how to reach you. Something as quick as that. And as I'm giving you all these tips, I'm going to give them to you kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But how I use them with my clients is we use them as an integrated strategy. Okay. Meaning my clients will apply. They usually have a referral. I'm going to talk about that. We have a process for getting referrals. They apply, then they follow up, they touch base, we do the research. It is now an integrated strategy. Right? Usually, I tell you all choose one, two, or three things you want to touch on and do those. Honestly, right now, you need a multi-step integrated formula to get hired. And I specialize in six-figure and multiple six-figure roles. So these are high paying jobs. For a high paying job, you're going to have to take a couple of more steps, and that's okay because it's going to pay off. It is going to pay off. I'll share this some good news. One of my clients who's used this integrated strategy, when she came to me, she'd already been unemployed for around 13 months. She'd been unemployed for over a year, and she thought that was a hindrance. And we really worked on her mindset, how she shows up. But we worked on this referral strategy and follow-up strategy. And I'm so happy to say that recently she got the offer for a multiple six-figure role. I think it's like $250,000. It's a contract role, but it's exactly what she wanted for a great growing company. All right. So companies are hiring. They are hiring. And this process did take a while. So I'm not going to say like, oh, it was 30 days. It was a multiple interview, long kind of drawn out thing, but it's what she wanted. She got the money she deserves. Okay. So as I'm going through these, think about them in terms of an integrated strategy. All right. So we got follow up. Here's the thing with the following up and even getting to the roles. Most of my clients right now, how they're getting their interviews and their offers is by some sort of referral or reference. If this was last year or 2 years ago, I'd be like, LinkedIn. Y'all know I love me some LinkedIn, right? So I'd be like, LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn can be a part of your referral and reference strategy. But right now, what I'm seeing is it is a lot of, okay, how can I get someone to get me an in? And that could be a former coworker, former colleague. It could be a family member. It could be a friend of a friend and a cousin of your god sister. It could be somebody, just for somebody to be like, oh, we're hiring. Here's our internal link. List me as a referral. Here's the direct information for the hiring manager. Something, right? That's not to say people are still not being hired just from applying. They are. However, most of what I'm seeing, and even the hiring manager that I spoke to before this session, she had just hired someone. It was from a referral. So if you can get a referral, if you're like, Latrice, it's all about who you know, and I don't know anyone, get to know people. Then that's when we start to use the LinkedIn strategy. That's when we start to use networking. That's when we start to use a strategy for like, okay, how am I going to get a referral? I had one client, she got a referral off of Threads. It was so amazing. I had never thought about that. But as I'm giving you all these tips, think about how you can use it and implement it in your own way. She used Threads a lot. She saw someone on Threads being like, hey, my company is hiring. And if you all are interested, let me know. Find a job on there. I'll send you the internal link. That's what happened. And she got the interview. And she couldn't believe it. She was like, oh my goodness, this person really like responded to me. So it wasn't somebody that she had a relationship with before or knew. It was someone who worked in this company, who was on Threads, who knew her company was actively hiring and wanted to help people. So it can be as simple as easy as that. And I think this all took less than 24 hours. Like she saw the person's thread, she responded, then DM'd her, the person DM'd her back with the link, she applied, got an interview. So it doesn't have to be hard, because I always get this. It's all about who you know, and I don't know anybody. You can get to know people very, very quickly. But yes, think about how you can easily get some sort of referral or reference. All right. And if you're like, Latrice, I am loving this, I need more, be sure to follow me. Click the follow and hit that notification bell twice. If you're like, Latrice, I am ready, 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 and you want to work with me, I have 2 coaching programs. My Fearless Branding Formula, that is if you're looking for your next role to get $20,000 to $50,000 more and hit that 6 figures and beyond using your personal brand. That's going to be the Fearless Branding Formula. If you're like, Latrice, I am a leader and I want to get into a leadership role and you have a business. A lot of my clients in the Leadership Legacy Program also have a business that they're trying to get hit 6 figures. Then the Leadership Legacy Program is for you. I'm going to send you all a link. If you put ready in the comments, just hit ready, ready, ready. You can put ready in the comments or you can DM me ready and I'll be sure to get you that link so you can book a call with me, okay? Let me go to my next tip because I just talked about personal branding. You have to know your brand right now. This is a huge tip. Please, please, please know. You need to know. If you're like, Latrice, I don't know what my brand is, call me, book a call. We're going to work on it. You need to know what is unique about you. You need to know the problem that you solve. You need to know how you stand out in a crowd. Why? Because like I just said, we know this 2025 job market is highly competitive, highly, highly competitive. So you have a highly competitive job market. You have an abundance of candidates. You have companies that are a little more hesitant to hire right away. This all makes for very intense competition. So you need to show how you're going to stand out, which means having your credentials, showing your credentials at the top right behind your name, which means branding yourself on LinkedIn, which means having a branded resume that just doesn't show your qualifications and experience, but tells a story of why you are the best candidate. Your brand shows how you are better than all of the other candidates. This is what your brand shows. This is why personal branding is so important. Personal branding can be the difference between it being like you are 1 in 100 and like, oh, we're interviewing other candidates, or the difference of being like, we see you, we interview you, we hire you, we love you, you're hired. We don't even need to hire anymore. And I had a client, and this is before we started working on her brand, and she said this happened to her. She said, hey, I was scheduled to to be in an interview with the next level hiring manager, and then they canceled it. And when I asked them why they canceled, she said they told her they canceled because they interviewed someone and they hired that person. I said, that's what you want for you. That is branding. That's telling you that this is possible. That's what we need to work on. You want it to be like they could have 5 other interviews scheduled and being like, no, we're canceled, we're hiring you. That's what branding does. That's what personal branding does for you. And it can shorten the hiring cycle for you. Okay. So this is why we need personal branding. This is why I specialize in personal branding to help you get to 6 figures and multiple 6 figures. Right. And then I'm going to say this. I kind of hinted towards this. Right now, you need to be researching. Researching. Not the I'm gonna just Google them really quickly and look on their website. No, deep dive. I like to tell my clients, research before you even apply, right? See who you can talk to. Can you connect with 3 to 5 people at that company before you even apply? If that's not possible, then apply. Once you get that interview, you should be deep diving. You should know where the company is going, not just 5 years from now, but right now. There's a level of immediacy. Before it's like, okay, where do you see the company going 5 years from now or 12 months from now? No, we're on 90-day cycles with tariffs coming in. I have clients now where questions are coming up about, okay, how do you handle tariffs? How do you handle rapid change? Like, how do you think what's going on, here will impact our industry? Like the immediacy of things. So you need to be researching what is their immediate problem. Yes, you're going to ask this question during the interview, but you also need to be prepared. This will help you with your branding and positioning. So you need to be deep diving, researching on these companies. Did they just go through a merger? Did they just have layoffs? Did they just go public? Are they launching a new product? All of these things you need to know. Don't think, oh, I'm going to ask them these questions and then they're going to fill me in. You need to know a certain amount about the company coming in. Because trust and believe, your competition will. This will also help you stand out. All right. So research, research, research. And I'm going to give you all a bonus tip. This is my little bonus tip. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody's questions too. So let me just double check. Okay. Here's a bonus tip. You right now need to have superior, and I mean superior interview skills. I have people that be like, I'm great at interviews. I've been on 20 interviews. I'll be like, did you get 20 offers? They're like, no. If you're interviewing, and not getting any offers, you need to evaluate your interview style. Right now is not the wing it time. I never recommend you winging a 6-figure interview, but I definitely don't recommend you wing any interview in 2025, especially women of color. We need to be overly prepared. You need superior interview skills. This is why with my clients, not only are we doing a 5 and 15 challenge where I'm challenging them to get 5 interviews in 15 days, but for all of my clients, I'm doing a 6-figure interview clinic where we're going to be giving them tips, tricks, strategies, and intensive interview prep. So they're going into the job market with superior interview skills. Superior. Again, if you're like, Latrice, I want this and you're interested in working with me, put ready in the comments and we'll send you that link. Also, if you're like, Latrice, I'm loving this and I'm thinking about making a pivot. If you're going to be transitioning to a new job, pivoting into a new career, put the word pivot in the comments and I'll send you the link for our free workshop, How to Pivot as a Woman of Color. It's an amazing, I think it's like an hour and a half free workshop with techniques, strategies, tips on how to successfully pivot. And we specialize in pivoting into high-level roles. So just put pivot into the comments and we'll send you that. Okay. But those superior interview skills, seriously, interviewing, I tell people, it's just a temporary skill that you need, but it is something that you need right now in a competitive job search market. It is not enough to meet all the qualifications. And I hear this a lot. Latrice, but I meet more than the qualifications. Okay, but did you go in and share with them how these qualifications can help solve their problems, can benefit them, allow you to do things easier, better, more creative than the next person? Did you do that? And we need superior interview skills that comes with storytelling, that comes with branding yourselves, that comes with understanding and describing the problem you solve and what their problem is. This is all under superior interview skills. And you all let me know if you're like, all right, Latrice, I want to hear more about how to get superior interview skills. But I met a client for lunch. I love meeting my clients in person, and we were going over her recent interview and some of the questions. And she said that they asked her a question. I was like, oh, I would have answered it this way. And she was like, oh my goodness, how do you do that? She was like, you gave him a compliment, but you didn't sound condescending. And then you did this. And I was like, yes, it is a strategy to even how you answer interview questions, especially in a competitive job market. Especially in a competitive job market. So right now, you guys, superior interview skills is number one. Because I'm getting clients where they're like, I'm getting the interviews, but not the offers. We need to execute. You need superior interview skills. It's not enough to be good. When people are like, I'm good at interview, you need to be superior at the top, creme de la creme, like at the top with your interview skills. All right. Let me know if you all have any questions, comments about anything that I said. Let me know. I see we just got a few people joining. Give me a hey, hi, let me know, especially my YouTube people. I love shouting out my YouTube people. But I'm going to go over really quickly what we talked about, right? 1, knowing and preparing that the job search process and the hiring process is longer than it usually is longer than it was in the past. 2, referrals and references are key right now. Finding a way to be creative to get that referral. 3, follow up, follow up, follow up. And I think I switched 2 and 3, but same thing. Follow up, follow up, follow up. 4, knowing your personal brand, understanding your presence, what is your unique skills and capabilities, and cleaning up and putting that everywhere. We also talked about everyone right now should be cleaning up their LinkedIn and resume. Clean it up. If you got stuff on there from the 90s, remove it. If it's ending at 2015, add what you've been doing since then. Let's clean those things up. Even if it's not perfect, you can have a resume writer. You can have myself or my team. We can do the final steps and really get it to a point of superiority or to a point where it's great, but you at least need to clean it up. Okay. For research, you have to be doing extensive deep dive research on the companies and on the industries. You need to be doing this before the interviews, right? And then having my bonus one, having superior interview skills right now is important. It's not enough to be good. It's not enough to be slightly prepped. And we damn sure are not winging it in these six-figure interviews. Especially as a woman of color right now, we are coming prepared, prepped, presentable, and ready to get these offers with our superior interview skills. All right. If you all have any other comments, any questions, put them in the comments. We'll be responding. Let me see. I have my little banner. Let me see. If you want to book a call with me, put ready in the comments, but you can also go to calendly.com/Latrice and we'll go ahead and get that for you. Okay. Let me know. All right. Any other questions before we hop off, you guys? I'm so excited. This was a fun one. I'm loving talking about like what's been going on, what's happening. This has been fun. All right. You all have a great day and I'll see you all next week. Bye.